What's going on, family? Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, had an interview and out there lying, y'all. We ain't doing no introduction. We're going to get right into it. Kevin Stefanski want to take the credit for developing Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. We all know, we done seen the story, we witnessed it, we seen everything that Kevin Stefanski did to Shedeur since he got into Cleveland, especially starting at OTAs, minicamp, and the regular season. This dude, Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons now, wants the credit of developing Shedeur Sanders. So you tell me, put it down in the comment section. Did Kevin Stefanski develop Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel as a quarterback? Keep in mind, for my records, he haven't developed no quarterback in 6 years that he was the head coach for the Cleveland Browns. Let's listen to what Kevin Stefanski had to say, and I'll be back to talk about it. Kevin Stefanski.
I watched your press conference, your introductory press conference. I know you didn't want to talk about the Cleveland Browns, so you want to swat this away, you can, but was it fair to Shedeur and Dylan to be put in a situation like that as rookies?
Well, first of all, Dan, I would tell you I have zero ill will towards anyone in that building. Dee and Jimmy Haslam treated me unbelievably, treated my family unbelievably. So I have no ill will towards all those type of things. As it relates to decisions like that, it's not fair for me to comment. Those two young players, I love those guys. I loved coaching them. I love their development. As a coach, why we do this is you take a player and you try to get a little bit more out of him and you try to develop him. And I want to get this guy better at that. And I think both those guys, you can point to their rookie seasons and say, man, they got better in these areas. Ultimately, we want to continue to improve, and those guys, both of them will. But I think very highly of those two young men.
Yeah, it's just tough, no matter how old you are to play that position in the NFL, let alone to go in there and, thrown into that. And I just wondered, you're the head coach and, you're an offensive-minded guy, and trying to put them in a position to succeed as rookies had to be, one of the more challenging things you probably have gone through.
I'm happy to have gone through it. It was one of those unique things, trying to find out ways to structure the offseason, find out ways to make sure you're bringing them along. Developing young quarterbacks is something that we want to be at the forefront of. So, again, love those two young guys, and they'll continue to improve.
That's Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, wants credit for developing Shedeur Sanders. He said when he left, he knew they are better right now than they was when they got there. Shedeur Sanders was the dog when he got there. Shedeur Sanders was a dog at Colorado. Shedeur Sanders was a dog in training camp. ESPN Cleveland, they were putting out the quarterback tracker. And Kevin Stefanski out there telling them lies. He probably sold them on that dream he just talked about to get in their head coaching job. Because, listen, we would listen to the Cleveland media, how they were coming out trying to drag Shedeur, that Dylan Gabriel was so far along and better than Shedeur Sanders, a computer brain. Shedeur Sanders don't know the playbook. He don't know how to get them in the huddle. We heard Mary Kay, we heard Tony Grosso, we heard Lyman, and we heard the rest of the people, Bull, all of them on ESPN Cleveland, the Ultimate Sports Show, talking about this situation. Where they get the information from? Kevin Stefanski and his staff leaked it and gave it to Mary Kay. That's why they ran with it. And now he's saying he wants credit for developing Shedeur Sanders. Once again, family, we heard the narrative. We heard all the noise. We seen the reaction. We watched the narrative that was formed on Shedeur. Listen, God speaks in several ways when it came to Shedeur, right? 7 times. What 7 mean, B? What are you talking about? 7 times is in the Bible, right? And it relates to Shedeur. Shedeur started 7 games. He had 7 weeks of practice with the first team offense. Hey, 7 times hotter. What you mean by hotter? You remember the story in the Bible when Shadrach, Meshach, and the billy goat refused to bow? The king didn't just punish him. He turned the furnace up 7 times hotter than usual. The goal wasn't corrected. It was destruction. Public, final, undeniable. That's the part people miss. The heat was never about obedience. It was about exposure. Because when God selects someone, opposition doesn't come quietly. It escalates. The furnace gets hotter. The scrutiny gets intensified. The pressure multiplies. And suddenly everyone is watching. Not to see if Shedeur will succeed, but to see, will it break him? That's where Shedeur Sanders found himself under Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns at that time. 7 times he started, 7 times with the first team reps. And no development cushion, no grace period, nothing. Just thrown into the fire during that Baltimore Ravens second half of the game when Dillon Gabriel supposedly had a concussion. And what people really are mad about it isn't the football. It's that the fire didn't assume him. It revealed him. You remember on that last drive in the Baltimore Ravens game, Shedeur brought them down the field. And guess what? Even though he should have thrown that ball to Jerry Jeudy to continue to drive on that 4th down, he went for the touchdown. It was a touchdown. Gabe just didn't catch the ball. I'm just trying to tell y'all, they wanted him to panic, but he became more poised. They wanted him to collapse. He came away more confident. The same people yelling the loudest are the ones who expected the furnace to do the work for them. They assumed the pressure would finish what their narrative started. That moment would expose Shedeur as not good enough. The outrage was curious, considering many of you claimed you were done watching the game, watching Cleveland Browns when Joe Flacco was out there. You claimed you were through watching the Cleveland Browns when Dillon Gabriel was out there. But all of a sudden, bam! Yeah, Shedeur Sanders came on the scene. Everybody reported saying that, man, I was up close to my seat. The crowd went crazy when he entered the game. You claimed, once again, you was done watching the Cleveland Browns long before Shedeur entered that game. So why the uproar now? Is it because you need this young man to favor and he hasn't? Newsflash, let me tell you something. You thought I forgot, didn't you? No, I gotta take you back to Shadrach, Meshach, and the billy goat. Okay? Newsflash. The story was never to go that way when God is involved. That's when it becomes clear. You can't demote what God has already promoted. Because in that furnace, Scripture says something wild happened. The fire burnt the ropes, but not the men. And the king looked at it again and said, hey, didn't we throw 3 in there? Why do I see 4? That's the part people hate and can't account for. Your criticism can't calculate divine covenant. Your doubt can't override divine placement. Your anger can't interrupt divine timing. The NFL knows it. The fans, they saw it. This isn't just about performance. It's about presence. Shedeur just happened to carry a presence that makes some people uncomfortable. That's a them problem, not a him problem. Let me say that again. That's a them problem, not a him problem. Take that with you today. And so again, I said 7 starts, 7 first team reps with the first team offense, 7 times hotter in that fiery furnace. And he's still standing. That's what happens when someone is elected by God and not by man. You can turn the heat up as high as you want. All it does, it exposes that the furnace was never meant to destroy him. It was meant to introduce him. Shedeur Sanders, a Pro Bowl quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, getting ready with a new head coach and a new offense as the #1 starting quarterback. Yeah, he was drafted in the 5th round, 144 pick. I give you that part. You did whatever you did, you accomplished. But guess what? He's still standing. 7 times. It's in the Bible. 7 times. 7 times he started. 7 times he got a chance to work with the #1 offense. 7 times. 7 times. You cannot destroy what God has already made. Remember what he told Job? Yeah, you can take everything he got. You can take his money, you can take his wife, kids, land, his cattle, everything. You can take all that. Just don't touch his soul. Preach, be watching. Lord, I'm trying to do the best I can. Let me say that one more time. You can take everything you want from Shedeur. You tried to embarrass. You did. You really did. You took him off the field when he drove the ball 80 yards just to run a freaking wildcat, and it failed. You did it not 1 time, but 2 or 3 times. Looked like you were trying to throw the game, and at the same time make Shedeur look bad running off the field. Just like Skip Bayless said, you tried to shame him, and at the end, you got fired. You got fired. And now, you in my home state trying to take the credit for developing Shedeur Sanders. Can't let you do it. Can't let you get away with it. When they sent me that video, I said, yeah, I got to get up. I wasn't going to do it. I was waiting on my 9 o'clock show. But here, I'm glad I did it. You never took out the time to develop Shedeur. I don't care what nobody say. You want to destroy him for no reason at all. And you're going to get it. You're going to get it. God ain't through with you. He going to get you. You'll be fired in 3 years. And that's going to be your last rodeo as the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Stefanski. No, you did not develop Shedeur Sanders. You heard it right here on Sports Talk. We'll be watching. Check this out. Deion Sanders developed Shedeur Sanders. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you don't mind. I got a live show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Come on back and rock with me. We're going to have a good time tonight. All right? Until then, peace.